What is up? It is Andy coming to you on a Saturday here, the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. A weekend that's supposed to be kicking off the summer, but as I've mentioned in the past, probably a weekend where 75 to 85% of the country can't even get a tan because the weather isn't quite summer yet. You want a tan, you wait for the 4th of July. You want to watch some playoff hockey, you put it on during Memorial Day weekend because nothing spells summer kickoff like ice hockey. But at least you can get a tan in the three cities that are remaining. We got the Florida Panthers down in Fort Lauderdale. We got the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights, where this Game 5 is going to be taking part in tonight. You guys know how this series has gone. You know how the conference finals have gone. If you have been an underdog, if Vegas has deemed you a +1.5, you are currently 8-0 in this series. All 8 +1.5s have come through. However, you never get it at a good price because, like Vin Diesel said, you never had your car. So our goal here today is going to be, what can we mix and match with that +1.5 to find some money for us? Now, let's go back 2 days in time. Remember the Waynes were blah-loo-loo, blah-loo-loo, blah-loo-loo. And it was one of those days where a lot of it happened to work out. I told you I wanted the over 1.5 for both teams, along with Vegas +1.5. That one came through, Vegas +1.5, and with the over 1.5 shots on goal for Shea Theodore. The Shea Theodore shots came. The Max Domi over 1.5 shots hit. The Rupe Hintz point hit. So a lot of hits on the board for Game 4. Hopefully, the same type of hits will find us for Game 5, if you have nothing to do tonight. But let's be honest, if you're watching this video right now, you might not even go out tonight. Actually, I'll guarantee you're not going to go out tonight because you're going to be taking advantage of the Caesars promotion, the one that I've told you about. I've heard that some of you have taken advantage of it. That's good to hear. Hopefully, you took advantage of it 2 nights ago because you didn't even need it. Actually, how does that work? Would you rather lose? It's like, wow, I really needed that. Or would you rather just put the bet in and say, I used it and I won? Well, regardless, your first bet on Caesars Sportsbook is going to be risk-free up to $1,250. All you got to do is be over 21 years old, located in a state or province where sports betting is permitted, and if you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That is dedicated for people who have gambling problems. But as I've told you before, if you got some other problem, I don't know, just call me. Listen, I have a gambling problem, and who knows, maybe they'll try to help you with that other problem. It's a way to scam discounts on some therapy or something like that. Anyway, we got this Game 5 tonight. Dallas avoided the sweep, but in all honesty, series should probably be 2-2, right? They had a lead in Game 2 with like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. This series, Brenda Moore's taken a lot of crap for what he said. He could not be more right. They lost 2 overtimes. And I mean, think about Game 1. They hit a crossbar in overtime, came close in overtime on the goal line. The stall chance, the wraparound where Bobrovsky pinned his skate against the post. You'll see that once every 5 years. And then last game, a goal with a minute left. I get what Brenda Moore's saying. People are going to look this up in 7 years and say, oh, Florida swept Carolina. I get what he's saying. That's not a sweep. And if Vegas would have won that last game in overtime instead of Dallas, you could say the same thing. This should not have been a sweep. I don't want to be on Team Brenda Moore for much, but I am on Team Brenda Moore for that. And the same thing could have been said for this series if it ended up going in Vegas' way last game, but it didn't. Dallas found a way to get that win. Now going into this Game 5, what to expect? Look, we're going to go with the +1.5. I have to. I mean, when something is just nailing this much, you know my philosophy. You get on the coaster, and if you're riding it 5, 6, 7, 8 games, then you take your hat off when it doesn't hit. But the +1.5 has worked out for everybody in every game in the conference final, so we're going to take that. What can we mix and match that with? A couple of different things. The first of which being, I want the over 3.5 shots on goal for Jason Robertson. He had over 10 shots on goal last game. I mean, that is absurd. Over 10 shots on goal for Jason Robertson, and he scored 2 goals. And with the absence of Ben and Dadonov, he obviously had to shoulder a heavier load, a heavier burden, and he's actually starting to feel it. Now, do I want to take the over 1.5 points? No, I hate that number. I just hate over 1.5s in games that continue to go under. Has every game in this series been an under? That's another thing, right? Every game in this series has been an under, correct? So anyway, going back to that Caesars same game, I'll return to that under in just a second. Going back to the Caesars same gamer, if you take the Dallas Stars plus 1.5 with Jason Robertson over 3.5 shots, that is going to put you at plus money. Don't mind the same thing for Rupe Hintz. The Stars have to shoulder the burden. The team and the actual stars on the Stars. The stars of the Stars have to shoulder a heavier load, and this time it's not even going to be as easy as it was last time because they're not going to have the benefit of last change. This is going to be a tough game for the Stars, I think. But as you saw last game, and as you saw the game before that and the game before that, they're struggling to score even strength goals. 2 of their 3 goals in the last game came on the power play. It's not easy to score against this Vegas Golden Knights team 5-on-5, even if you go back to that Oilers series. Most of their success came on the power play. So it's going to be tough for them to score tonight, which is why no reason not to go back to the under. The under 5.5. Oh, I'm sorry, game 1 was over, right? Because Dallas tied it with a minute left. Anyway, no reason not to go back to the under, because I wouldn't be surprised if once again this is like a 2-2 in the third period. So if you were to go Stars plus 1.5 with the under 5.5, that also puts you at plus money. And on the Golden Knights side with the shots, they bumped up Theodore to 2.5. They were on to us, and now 2.5 really starts to get a little close to, God, a defenseman. 3 shots for a defenseman. I would rather still take Theodore to register a point. He's on that power play unit, and he obviously is very capable offensively, he's even better than Pietrangelo. It's not up for debate. Go watch some of his goals in the past. He has some serious offensive skill. Just hasn't really found the score sheet yet. Wouldn't be surprised if he's involved on that tonight. And always, if you take if you take Dallas plus 1.5, and then you add like a Shea Theodore point on the other side of the bet, because it's like a bet that counters itself, which is why you get better odds on that. So all those types of bets. As far as exotic ones, I don't really know what to tell you. Same game parlay. Don't mind the both teams under 4.5. Plus 1.5 for Dallas. It's all contingent on the Dallas plus 1.5. And that's all because of what we've seen so far in this round of the playoffs, both in the Eastern Conference Final and the Western Conference Final. So across the board, it's going to be Dallas 1.5. Half. One last thing that I do want to mention. The Max Domi over 1.5 shots on goal. You keep it over 1.5 with him having an increased role. And also you can think about Tyler Seguin, who was elevated to that top power play. When he was elevated to the top power play in round 1 with the Pavelski injury, he was extremely productive. And obviously that top power play has been productive in the last few games. 2 power play goals in the last game. Just Seguin wasn't fortunate enough to have, he passed the puck on the first goal, but then there was just, a shot and then a rebound, and he wasn't able to get an assist. But if he's touching the puck on that power play, he could also be a good candidate for a point. So that's what I got for you here on this Game 5. I think it ends, but this series is so close you never really know. I wouldn't even be surprised if this goes to it. 3 of 4 games have gone to overtime in this series, and all the overtimes have ended within if you could take that on a fake website, how everyone has that guy they can call, I got a guy, he'll take my bet. You should never do that. But for friends and for non-actual money, if you're betting peanuts, I got 25 Planters peanuts here, you got 50 over there. If you have a friend, say, you know what? I bet you this game is tied after 60 minutes, and then it ends within 10 minutes of overtime. I bet you get some good odds on that. On PointsBet, isn't there a feature you can write in and say, hey, this is what I want to bet, and they respond to you? I know you're laughing right now. I really think that exists. I think there's a part of PointsBet that you can just suggest a bet to them, and I think they get back to you saying, we can't do it, or we can do it. Maybe you guys should go check that out, and I should stop talking. Anyway, happy Memorial Day weekend. Go do some fun things. I have nothing fun lined up. And I will see you guys for, I guess that depends. If there's a Game 6, I'll see you on Memorial Day. And if there's not, when do you think game 1 will be? They don't announce that stuff. Let's say to this Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Game 1 will probably be Tuesday. I don't think they want to. No, they would give them more rest if they were to close it down before Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. But I will see you then. All right. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Shopper. How weird is this lingering part of this? Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Shopper channel. If you need bunker bets, you guys know where it is. You don't have to drive out to Nevada where they shoot you at the edge of Area 51. All you got to do is subscribe to Odd Shopper Premium, and they will give you all these bets with return on investments. Which one's the best one? Why is it the best one? What's the win percentages? All the relevant data for you people out there who need all the information. You guys show up at baseball games and you have your, there's a pitch outside. Oh, yeah, and you come home with your full charts. Well, then Odd Shopper Premium is the place for you. You can always follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be recording a podcast later today, which means I should have a podcast out later tomorrow talking about all sorts of scams, Ticketmaster scams, how I don't believe in politics because of Ticketmaster. That's basically what I'm trying to say. There's not a single person in this world who enjoys paying those massive Ticketmaster fees. Nobody. I don't care what party anyone's in. Everyone hates Ticketmaster fees, yet we can't get rid of them. That's why I'm not into politics. Ticketmaster. I will see you guys next video. Bye.